welcome to another episode of Chefs and Showhomes. I'm your host, Kristen Reed, and I'm really excited about today's episode. We're going to be mixing it up a little bit. We're on site at Alair's latest custom home project in Emerald Park. We're going to join Mikhail a little bit later to learn more about this house as well as their business. And then our chef today is Bryce with Legacy Catering, and he's going to be grilling up some amazing barbecue with us. So stay tuned. All right, so now we're gonna get cooking. I have Bryce Hitchins here with Legacy Catering. So thanks for being here today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah, so what are we cooking today?
So we've got a 12-ounce ribeye New York steak, some asparagus, and for a little something different, we're gonna do barbecue pierogies.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And this is quite the grill you've got here.
Yeah, we're in the prairie, so we got a little bit of wind, so we gotta watch some of the ashes, but we should be fine.
Okay, all right, well, let's get going.
All right.
What do we got there?
So we got a 12-ounce New York strip. It's rubbed with our good neighbors at Prairie Smoke and Spice. They have a beef rub, so we rub them up with that. Okay. And yeah, we're just gonna let them go and we'll get things going here.
All right, now you said that this is a charcoal grill?
Charcoal grill, custom trailer. The two units on it are a Yoder char grill and a Yoder smoker.
Okay.
So it's the Wichita and then just the char grill itself. So.
And now, what kind of events would you take this bad boy out to?
We've done almost anything and anything you can dream of. We've done weddings, funerals, ball games and things like that. So fundraisers, burgers for schools and things like that. We've used it for a lot of things.
Wow, yeah. Good. And how long has Legacy Catering been around now?
So we officially turned 1 year old June 4th.
Okay. Yeah. And it's you and your partner Josh, is that right?
Josh Robbins is my partner, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. And so how long do these cook for?
Probably 4 to 6 minutes per side, depending. Then we're gonna brush it with a nice fresh herb and roasted garlic butter.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get our asparagus on and our pierogies going.
All right.
Yeah.
So the trick is about 4 to 6 minutes aside, and that would be medium rare?
Should be, yes.
Should be medium rare. Is this usually the same heat as it would be if you were on a propane barbecue?
No, if you get it on right away, you're going to be sitting at about 600 to 700 degrees.
Okay.
Well, I've had this thing up to well over 1100 degrees, so all depends on how much coal you're using.
Okay.
I know that we're just here for the show home, so I didn't put as much in as I normally would.
Okay. Great.
Hey guys, this is Stan with Dutch King Construction. Today I'd like to talk to you guys about building garages. Things to consider when purchasing a garage package would be the size of your garage. What size does your property allow, as well as the size you need based on the vehicles you have and the storage needs. For example, if you drive a big truck, you will most likely need to go with a higher than your standard 8-foot garage package to allow for a bigger overhead door. Once you figure out the framing of the garage, it's time to look at the finishes. In most cases, we would try and match up the exterior of the garage to the exterior of the house. That way, everything would flow nicely. I'm Stan from Dutch King Construction.
So can you tell me a little bit more about your business and how you guys got started together?
Sure. So 2007, I was teaching for SAS Polytech, and I started picking up a lot of Christmas events, and I was overwhelmed by how many people were phoning.
Yeah.
So I called up Josh to see if he'd give me a hand, and by the end of December, we had kind of made a plan that we were going to go full bore into it. So we started looking for our own kitchen.
Okay.
And by June, we became limited and started rolling.
Yeah, well, I got to see your space here out in the warehouse district now.
Yes, we have a lot of space.
Yeah, you've got a lot of space now. That's good.
So we also had to work out of the North Central Family Center's kitchen for a little while before we got started. So while we were there, we helped Sandy out, and we did a lot of classes where we taught young adults going into the workforce just basic cooking skills, so that they had a little bit of a heads up on getting into the culinary field beforehand. So they learned how to chop and peel and do whatever else they could do. So
Okay.
we've done those quite a few times for them.
Do you still do that, or are you guys too busy with other things now?
No, she's actually been on me to get one started in September, so we're talking about that right now. And then every time we have leftovers or anything that we can do up, we'll make up kid-friendly meals.
Okay.
And we take them there, and they have an after-school program so that the kids at least go home with one hot meal a day. So we help her out with that as much as we possibly can as well.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
It's a little ways to give back because that community center helped us out starting out.
Yeah.
So we always want to make sure we give back to them.
That's great.
And then Christmas time for the last 4 years, we do help them do their Christmas party. So, so they feed about 500 people just before Christmas. So
Yeah.
it's a big event.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah. How are these guys looking? Do you need my help with anything?
No.
I'll just make sure you're doing it right. Good
So
job.
all I did was marinate these in some olive oil and a little bit of lemon juice, lime juice, and orange juice.
Okay.
And then we're just going to hit it with a little sea salt at the end.
Yum.
So I'm just lightly greasing this one side because the pierogies are, they have to be frozen when we put them on.
And then how long do you cook them for from frozen?
Oh, you'll see, it doesn't
You'll
take
see?
very
Oh,
long,
okay.
minutes.
And do you guys source lots of your ingredients locally?
So we do. Our meat was supplied by Centennial Food Market, and we do their local store.
Okay.
And then we try to buy as local as much as possible.
Yeah. Obviously, in the winter months, it's probably not so easy.
Correct. And then also for our steaks and our rubs, we use guys that we know and that we trust. So Prairie Smoke and Spices ribs, our rib rub, we just kind of change it a little bit. And some of the barbecue sauces we use as well.
Good.
Okay.
That's great. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about how you ended up in Antarctica on a cruise ship?
I can. So
Great
I
story.
was working for, I'm just gonna let this close this for a minute just to let
Okay.
the heat get back. I was working for a local restaurant at the time, La Bodega, and getting a little bored at what I was doing. We did a Corner Gas movie series for the first season, and I got the opportunity to cook for the owners of Peregrine Travels at the time.
Okay.
And that evening they asked if I can get a passport, and I said yes. And 3 days later there was a ticket in the mail, and I had to fly to Ushuaia, Argentina to start working on the cruise ships.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
And so now where did you go again?
Ushuaia. So it's the southernmost tip of the world, they say, other than Antarctica, and it's the most southern tip of Argentina.
Wow, okay.
So you had to go to Buenos Aires and then down to Ushuaia.
And then from there you went to Antarctica?
So we sailed through the Cape Horn,
Okay.
and then into the peninsula of Antarctica itself. And
Okay.
we also did Georgia, South Georgia, and Falkland Islands.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And would you take that cruise ship back up to the Arctic when you went there, or did you fly there and then take another
So
ship?
normally what they'll do is they'll take their staff and they'll fly them home for a break, and then they get some of us that were greedy, we would work and do a reposition where we'd clean the galleys, get everything restocked, take a small break, and then go back on.
Yeah.
So that's usually what I did. So we'd sail up to Montevideo,
Yeah.
hang around there for a little while, and then fly home.
Such a cool experience. I
Yeah.
can't imagine. Very cool.
We got to keep an eye on our pierogies.
Do they burn easy? I don't know if I've ever had pierogies on the barbecue. This is a great idea.
So if we have our temperature right, these things will start to get crispy on the ends and on the edges.
Is that where you're seeing the white?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're starting to get there. We lost a little bit of heat with all this wind, so
Yeah.
they're getting there. And they'll puff up and crisp up.
Okay.
And then we'll just brush them with a little bit of barbecue sauce.
Oh,
Same with our asparagus. As soon as those are almost ready,
how's that steak looking?
looks pretty good. I'm going to put them in the rest.
I mean, hold that. Are you good?
No, it's
Okay.
warm. I got kitchen hands.
Mine are fragile.
So we're just going to let these rest while these things are finishing up.
Okay.
And then I'll just quickly put them back on the grill again, brush it with a little bit of butter,
Okay.
and then we're good to go.
And what's in your butter?
So I stole from our herb garden outside. We got some chives, rosemary, thyme, fresh oregano, roasted garlic, and then butter.
Perfect.
Salt and pepper, all the little basic things.
And you're going to be sharing the recipe for that too?
I can, yes.
Perfect.
Well, I'm just putting a little barbecue sauce on the pierogies. They get a little crispy on the outside, and then you just finish them off with a little bit of barbecue sauce. And while we're doing that, we're going to let our steaks back on real quick. And we're going to hit it with a little bit of our finishing butter.
Great. So now when you're out and about in town, where do you like to go out for dinner?
Dinner, if we're going out fancy, we like to go to the Diplomat.
Okay.
If we're going out for pints, it's Leopold's.
Which one?
We go to the east one because it's closer to home.
Okay, yeah.
And then if we're going out for wings or for a social event, we usually go to Four Seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And so are you from Regina originally?
I am not. I'm from Oxbow.
Okay.
I moved here in about 98.
98.
Yeah.
Okay. And then aside from your trip to Antarctica, have you been here pretty much the majority of the time?
Pretty much.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. So what do you love most about Regina?
Well, my wife is from close around here, and that when I met her on my last trip of Antarctica, that's when we decided we were going to get married. So I ended up planting roots here with her and calling Regina home.
Oh, good. Do you have kids or anything?
No.
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 Pets?
We have a dog, Ryder.
Ryder? I wonder where that came from.
She's a big football fan.
Yeah?
All right, so we're going to take our steaks. We're going to put them on to our plate.
Okay.
A little bit of butter. The butter's got all the fancy herbs and fresh stuff in there. A nice big helping of asparagus. I like one of my food touches.
Looks beautiful.
And then a plate for the pierogies. You can put some chives on there or whatever you'd like.
And so would you have a dippers or dipping sauce at all, or just the
Sour
barbecue
cream is usually a fun one. Spiced up some, maybe take some guacamole, add a little bit of ranch to it. That's really good with that as well. Hot sauce.
Yeah, always.
Anything
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Good,
Nice
I
and
like
simple.
it. A little bit different for pierogies.
There
It's
you
really
go.
good. Great. Well, thank you so much for cooking for us
You're very
today and
welcome.
bringing this big old barbecue out here. This is awesome.
It's what we do. We like to have fun.
Yeah.
Josh and I have been going through the summer motions. Everyone says, well, for a caterer, it slows down. It hasn't slowed down for us at all. It's been go, go, go since we started. So it's been fun.
That's
Really
good.
fun.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. All right. Stay tuned. We're going to go and chat with Mikhail soon and get the house tour.
Hi everyone, this is Atif with TMG, the Mortgage Group. Today we're going to talk about what is a mortgage stress test. A mortgage stress test is essentially a tool used by lenders and banks which allows them to assess whether a client will still be able to afford their mortgage if rates begin to increase. The test looks at what-if scenarios and considers extreme situations. So if a client qualifies at a certain rate a few years ago, but the rates have increased over the last 5 years and their mortgage is up for renewal, what would their payments look like now? Would they be able to afford it? Previously, the stress test only applied to those who were putting less than 20% down payment and required an insured mortgage. As of 2017, the stress test applies to everyone across the board, whether you're putting 20% down or less than 20% house. The stress test may be applied differently to a conventional mortgage than an insured mortgage. So it is important to speak to your mortgage professional about the stress test and how it works in your situation. This is Atif with TMG, the Mortgage Group.
So we're on a very busy construction site here at Alair Homes' latest custom home project in Emerald Park. I'm here with Mikhail Polischuk, who's a business owner with Alair Homes, who's going to give us the tour and tell us a little bit more about the company. So thanks for having us today.
No problem. Glad you guys could make it.
Yeah, thanks so much. So can you tell me a little bit more about the history of Alair Homes?
Yes, Alair Homes, we've been around in Regina for about 7 years now. So we're a custom home builder. We also do renovations. We do some commercial work as well. We have a pretty unique process that we work with our clients, client-controlled process, which is a lot different than most contractors. We really put the power in the client's hands to make decisions, to be in control of their budget and schedule. And we have quite a thorough and transparent planning process.
Okay.
So it allows the clients to really master the project with our guidance. And we are, positioning ourselves to be an expert in the field, in which we are, and we just pass our knowledge on to the client so they can make informed decisions about every aspect of their home.
That's great. And so then the process itself, is it online based? Like, is there an app that they use, or how does that all work?
Alair Homes client interactive platform. So we have schedules, budgets, selection sheet, photo gallery, and all of these things are through a client portal. And so they can access it from their laptop, their computer, their tablet, their smartphone. So it's very hands-on and interactive with the client.
That's great. And so obviously being online, so they've got the option to like Google, but do they have someone that's helping them along the way to make those decisions and make sure that they understand the process and the decisions they're making?
Absolutely. Every project has a dedicated project manager to work directly with the client. We have scheduled client meetings to go through selections, to go through quotes. Like I said, we're 100% transparent, so the client sees all of those quotes. They see the scope of work documents that we build based on the plans and the client selections that we pass on to the trades. The trades then submit their quote, and we review that with the client so they can make, the best decision for their project and their budget. So.
Very good. And so we're talking like larger custom homes here. So there's a lot of design that goes into that, right? So
Absolutely.
Is there a designer as well that they work with, or does the project manager have that design experience?
No, we always work with a designer, especially on these big projects, because like you said, there is a ton of detail that goes in here, a ton of behind the scenes. And so every project's a little different, every client's needs are a little different. So what we really try and do is match a client with a designer who may match personality. So we go through a bit of an interview process. We work with a lot of different design firms. And like I said, everyone's a little different. Their tastes are different, their style's different. So we just try and partner everybody with the right people.
That's great. And so then doing that interview process ahead of time, does that help to streamline the design process? Because I know that sometimes is the longest part, is making all of those decisions before you actually break ground, right?
Absolutely. In fact, on a big custom home, a lot of times the design phase can take longer than the construction itself. Yeah. And to do it effectively, it almost should. And that just eliminates a lot of these things from happening in construction, so you're not sitting there waiting on a product to arrive, waiting for a decision to be made. The more you can do up front, the safer your project is going to be. Try and eliminate those risks up front of changes and scope changes and cost overruns in construction, because that's the last thing any client wants to hear is, well, that's going to cost you more, or that's going to change the budget. And we try and eliminate all of those questions up front before we start building.
Right, no, that's really good. Yeah. And so, but if there are changes in the price, then the buyer, I guess, has the rights or the options to scale back in some other areas if they want to.
Absolutely.
Upgrade.
And we present options for everything, whether it's a couple options for flooring that they've picked out, and we'll price them both out. We're not sending them to pick a certain line of flooring or a group of flooring. They pick what they want.
Yeah.
But maybe they want to upgrade in another area or change their mind in another area. We find them flexibility in another part of the budget, so they can prioritize what their needs and what their where they see value.
Yeah.
And every client has different sets of values. Some really value structure and the mechanical. Others want the higher end finishes. Every client is very different, and that's really what's great about our process, is it's very client controlled, so they have the ability to make those decisions that they value.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then being able to see it all online and play around with it so that they know what they're doing. And
for sure.
Very cool. I really like that.
Yeah. Here I'm going to show you how we, show our clients, what their house is going to look like when it's done. We've got some 3D renderings here of the finishes and in many different angles of the home, which are amazing. It really puts the client in the home, and they can actually walk through and see how their house is going to look with the finishes they've chosen, whether it's the stone, the hardwood, the tiles, the railings, the trim work, it can all be put into 3D rendering.
Yeah.
And so a client has a clear vision of what their home's going to look like when it's done.
Now this is going to be a beauty. Can you maybe point out some of these
sure.
design elements that are going to be in this house? That obviously it's
Sure.
in lockup stage, so sometimes it's hard to envision. So it's great that you guys
Absolutely.
have these renderings.
For sure. So right above us actually is a really cool ceiling feature.
Okay.
It's a custom ceiling feature, and you'll be able to see it in the rendering here. So there's, you know, a darker element, some moldings that go around it.
Is it drop ceilings?
It's just drop down bulkheads.
Okay.
Pretty unique design, and then a big chandelier hanging in the middle.
Wow. You don't see that as much these days, those formal dining rooms, or are you seeing that?
You know, a lot of the homes we're building, actually people want the formal dining room, but they also want a breakfast nook.
Yeah.
Because, you know, this room's going to get used for parties and family gatherings and maybe Christmas and Thanksgiving, and that's going to be more your daily eating area. You know, I know my family, we spend a lot of time eating at our island,
Yeah.
and a lot of families do that, but, you know, Sunday dinners or, you know, certain events, they want to have that separate space. So
Yeah, well, especially a large home like this, I guess you got
we
room
gotta
for
fill
it.
it up somehow,
Yeah.
right?
Good.
Yeah.
What are some of the other features that we can expect to see?
Yeah, obviously lots of windows in this home, so lots of sunlight. Right over here, we've got this curtain wall in front of the kind of floating stairs. So this is a really cool feature, nice open, bright stair. You can see all the way up to the second floor ceiling.
Okay.
It's a bit of a bridge across connecting, you know, 2 bedrooms on that side with the master and bonus room on that side.
Okay.
So there's lots of wall niches in here for displaying art that have backlighting and accent lighting. A lot of accent lighting in the stairs. Kitchen is very custom. It's a really beautiful kitchen with some bulkheads and a wall of cabinetry and appliances, really nice butler pantry, and then the mudroom. And that seems to be kind of the room we're designing houses around these days.
Totally.
With how busy our families all are, the mudroom is such a key part of everybody's busy life.
Yeah.
Because when we have people over, we don't want everybody to come in and see all our stuff. So we
Exactly.
need that place where there's a storage spot for everything. So in every house we're building, it seems to be we spend as much time designing a mudroom as we do any other room in the house.
Yeah, well, it's important, especially if you have a large family and lots of
sure,
shoes
for
and
sure.
kids stuff, and yeah,
And
no, it's
sporting
great.
equipment
Yeah.
and all of this stuff. Yeah, it all needs a place to live, so
Yeah.
it's not living on your
Tuck it
table
away.
and in the corner of
Yeah.
your living room. Yeah. So.
Exactly. So now, being that this is a high-end custom home,
Yeah.
did you source a lot of the finishing materials locally, or did they have anything ordered from elsewhere?
You know, in this home, yeah, we've got some stuff ordered from elsewhere, and every project's different. It
Yeah.
depends on the product, depends on the style. So in this particular project, we're working with Clear Space Design, who are awesome at, you know, working with the client from start to finish and with us. We have a great relationship with them. So they do the 3D renderings and then obviously help the client with selections. And so we have numerous meetings with the client and the designer, and to really refine their taste and their finishes and make sure it all works together. So as much as we can, we love to source local products, but
Yeah.
if there's something specific that we can't get locally, of course we're gonna, you know, with the internet, we can get anything. You know,
Right.
anything's available to us now with the internet. So.
Yeah, and now you had mentioned earlier how you have the affiliation with all of the Alairs across Canada. Is it just across Canada?
Oh, no, we're into the US
Into
as
the
well.
US
Yeah,
as
we're
well.
all the way down the East Coast, through Texas, Florida. We have Colorado, Arizona, so we're all over the US now. So
Yeah.
we can really leverage the expertise of these amazing builders from all over North America, which is really unique because the amount of knowledge and experience that some of these builders have that we've got in Alair's network now is just incredible. So
Yeah.
if there is a product out there or a technique, we've done it somewhere. So
Yeah.
we can call, and you know, we've met every one of the owners in Alair, which is really unique. We do an AGM every year, and we have super sessions where we get together and we have a weekly call. So we're on first name basis with all these other owners, so it's really great and really supportive network. It's amazing.
For sure, and great for the client, because then it opens up more doors in terms of what finishes they can pick, knowing that you'll be able to execute it well, and that
Absolutely.
it's going to look good after.
Yeah,
so.
and a lot of times people see stuff on Pinterest or House or whatever, and And that's great. It's great for stirring up ideas, but sometimes they're not practical in our climate.
Right.
Sometimes they're not practical for their budget. So this way we can really get the real information. We can provide them the pros and cons on all of these products and techniques and really fit to their specific project.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to have us here and give us the tour and tell us all about your company. We're actually going to see Mikhail in a little bit when we get to know him a little bit better, so stay tuned.
Jesse Malak with the Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop here, and we're talking about trends in landscaping. And today we're talking about irrigation and drip irrigation systems. So with irrigation, we want to be smart with our water consumption, and one of the best ways to do that is drip irrigation, where we run a drip emitter that's just like a little drip to each plant, and that makes sure that they get what they need. Another great trend with irrigation we see is Wi-Fi controllers, where you can control all of your irrigation from your phone or even have your system sync up with the local weather networks and water according to the forecast. I'm Jesse Malak with the Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop, and these are some trends in landscaping.
So now we're going to ask Mikhail a few questions just to get to know him a little bit better. So, can you tell me, where's your favorite restaurant in town?
Lots of different places I enjoy, but we really like to cook at home. We have a big, 3 kids. My wife, we're very busy, so eating out's a challenge. We have a big range in ages in our family, so we tend to cook at home a lot.
And what's your go-to meal to cook at home?
My favorite thing to cook is definitely barbecue, whether it's a steak, ribs, chicken, seafood. We love seafood, so definitely love barbecue.
Perfect. Well, very fitting for today. And then last question, can you tell me what you love about Regina?
There's a lot of things I love about Regina. I love the pace of Regina. I love the size, the community aspect, the volunteerism. I love how helpful people can be in Regina, and I love the diversity that's starting to happen in Regina. The new Canadians that are being welcomed into our community, I think, is incredible for the local people and the culture in the city. Love how easy it is to get places. 15 minutes, being a busy family with lots of activities. That's helpful that we're not commuting an hour to get places. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, if you keep building the way you're going to build, it's going to take a lot longer than 15 minutes to get around.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
And if you guys are looking to build, make sure you talk to Mikhail with Alair.